Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to class. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday? Is it Tuesday today? Okay, happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome back to our class, Speech and Theater Arts. Today, we will officially start our class with a synchronous activity. Okay, so today is June 16, 2020, and we have these following goals for today. First, you are expected to review and relearn the basic concepts of speech communication. And second, you are going to answer a checkup test for the topic. Okay, this video is created to help you review the said topic, and a Google Doc file is uploaded in your Google Classroom for you to answer after watching this video. Please do not forget to read my instructions. Okay? So, are you ready to learn? I hope you are. Okay, so let's start the class. Okay. So again, we will be discussing the speech communication concepts. First, let us define communication. Okay. So, what do you mean by communication? For decades, communication professionals have had difficulty coming to any consensus about how to define the term communication. Even today, there is no single agreed upon definition of the word communication. So, in 1970 and in 1984, Frank Dance looked at 126, imagine 126 published definitions of communication in our literature, and said the task of trying to develop a single definition of communication that everyone likes is like trying to nail a jello to the wall. 30 years later, defining communication still feels like nailing a jello to the wall. So now, let us adopt a simple definition. Okay, the simplest definition there is. So communication is the process of using symbols to exchange meaning so that you and me can understand each other better. Okay, so next, what are the basic elements of communication? There are actually 5 of them, namely message, channel, noise, feedback, and context. Let me expound on each of them one by one. Okay, so let's start with message. A message is a particular meaning or content that sender wishes the receiver to understand. The message can be intentional or unintentional, written or spoken, verbal or nonverbal, or any combination of these. For example, as you walk across campus, you may see a friend walking toward you. When you make eye contact, wave, smile, and say hello, you are offering a message that is intentional, spoken, verbal, and nonverbal. How about channel? Well, channel is the method a sender uses to send a message to the receiver. The most common channels human use are verbal and nonverbal communication, which we will discuss in the days that will come. So, verbal communication relies on language and includes speaking, writing, and sign language. Nonverbal communication, on the other hand, includes gestures, facial expressions, paralanguage, and touch. We also use communication channels that are mediated, such as television or the computer, which may utilize both verbal and nonverbal communication. Okay, so third, noise. Noise is anything that interferes with the sending or receiving of a message. Noise is external. A jackhammer outside your apartment, or the loud music in a nightclub, the away of your neighbors. That's external. Internal noise are physical pain, psychological stress, or nervousness about an upcoming test. External and internal noise make encoding and decoding messages more difficult. Using our ongoing example, if you are on your way to lunch and listening to music on your phone when your friend greets you, you may not hear your friend say hello, and you may not wish to chat because you are hungry. In this case, both internal and external noise influence the communication exchange. Noise is in every communication context, and therefore, no message is received exactly as it's transmitted by the sender because noise distorts the message one way or another. Number 4, feedback. Okay. So the receiver's response to the sender's message is called a feedback. Okay? So this consists of the reaction, questions, or any response of the people we are sending the message to. So, simple nods of agreement during a conference can already be considered as a feedback. But feedback can be both positive and negative. Positive meaning a response of agreement to whatever you're saying or the message that you sent, or a disagreement to what you said. So, that is feedback. Okay, the last one is called context. Okay, so the last element of the communication process is the context in which the speech or interaction takes place. In 1980s, context was taught as the actual physical setting where communication occurred, such as in a place of worship, an apartment, a workplace, a noisy restaurant, or a grocery store. So people communicate differently in each one of these places as there are unwritten rules for communication. These are called norms. Okay, that governs the setting of the communication. More recently, though, the concept of context has evolved and expanded to include the types of relationships we have with others and the communicative rules that govern those relationships. So you do not speak the same to your best friend as you do to a small child, your parent, your boss, your doctor, or a police officer. And you may speak to your best friend differently in your apartment than you do in your parents' home. And your communication may also change when you are both out with friends on the weekend. So to sum it up, the context refers to the norms that govern communication in different situations and different relationships. Okay, so I hope that you understand the 5 basic elements of communication. Okay, let us proceed now to the next topic. So what are the 5 communication acts? Okay, so the communication acts or the purpose of our communication. There are 5. First, to share feelings. Second, to share information. Third, to persuade. 4, to be creative or to entertain. And lastly, to follow rituals or to follow social rituals. I don't think I need to expound on this anymore because it's actually quite understandable already. So we will proceed to the next concept.